Hey guys, I'm going to read to you a message from Max that came to me yesterday. And I'll introduce it by writing a little bit of what the deliverer of the message said to me, so you understand a little bit of the context of how I got the message. And then I'm just going to read the message plain and clear as was instructed by Max. So here it is. So she writes. Now she's the one who gave me the message, and then I'll say when it's Max speaking. So she wrote to me. She wrote, yesterday, and then she said what she is, but I won't put that in. We were chatting. She means she and Max. And he was like, can you write something down for me? And we hadn't talked in a while. And then I said yes, and he dictated the message here below. We talked previously a few months ago about the fact that I don't need to be his mouthpiece. I still have a very 3D job and reputation, and that maybe we would find someone to work with. Enough about all that. Here's what matters. His message. It would be great if you could read it aloud at once in loud and clear in a video. It would be great if you could read it at once, loud and clear in a video. I will do my best. Please, don't say anything about what I share with you personally. And then in quotes, the people who need to hear this message will feel its truth resonate within their heart, end quote, in parentheses, Max. So he said that part about the quote. The people who need to hear this message will feel its truth resonate within their heart. Max, no need to explain anything. So that is how I'm going to introduce what he says. And then she continues, she writes, thank you and happy to share more when the time is right. He has a lot to say. Smiley face. Here we go. Colon. So this is the part from Max. He says, Max, thank you so much, Rose, for giving me the platform, so to speak, to get this out there. The title for this could be Setting the Record Straight About My Death and My Message. Essentially, I just want to clarify or bring clarity to the circumstances of my death. Team Red Rose killed me as I exposed all of it, the war between the two factions being a major issue that needs to be highlighted. Both teams are a psyops that continue to dupe mankind. They are at war, but the men or beings behind it serve the same agenda. The one of enslaving mankind. Mental and physical imprisonment. Then she says, why physical, Max? ? And he continues, because the soul, the part that is beyond the dimensional veil, should be free to move around and not be bound life after life to this 3D experience. So I should say mental and dimensional imprisonment, I guess. She says, okay. He continues, you have played a role in my recovery. You can tell them how you did it. All I know is that a portal opened up at the time of my passing, and I was able to reconnect to my essence. From that place, a much widened perception of sorts, I can see more clearly through all the events. This lifetime and other lifetimes. It's difficult to understand this sort of thing in a body, even as a quote-unquote super soldier, because the lines are blurred, the memories are episodic, not continuous, all in bits and pieces. I've done much work to recover the different strands of my being, and I just want to reiterate that what I sort of understood in this past lifetime, past being in quotes, that the mental and dimensional imprisonment is real. There's no drama, but the souls who want to free themselves now from this game can do so, just by understanding and reconnecting with their essence from behind the big veil, capital letters, B-I-G, : there are many veils between dimensions, But all dimensions are still part of the holographic experience. The big veil would be what could be understood as an ultimate veil, an ultimate separation from our God self, our essence. And that is not holographic. And it's outside our perception and our understanding. But the times are here now to relay this message. There is another part to this, which is sort of more rooted in drama. And that's why it's important to understand that it's actually not that dramatic. And she says, "What do you mean?" Question mark. And he goes on. "I mean, when I was on Earth, in that body, I was under the impression that everything was black and white, and light or dark, and that it was almost impossible to be free oneself from that prison. The drama became more intense when I heard about an invention of sorts that could disintegrate organic and spirit/matter, life force energy, but I understand now that even if that were to happen, it wouldn't have had an effect beyond the hologram. And so my past understanding was rooted in fear of extinction. And I understand now that that was a motivation most certainly to get me out there and speak up, which was necessary. But in the end, it's not as final as I thought it was." And she asks, "You referring to black goo/AI stuff, right?" Question mark. And he responds, "Yes, I can't go into details here though." And she says, "Okay, is this something you want me to include in the statement?" Question mark. And he says, "Yes." And she says, "Okay." And he continues, "Also, my mother Vanessa was not my birth mother. She is not responsible for anything that happened. And beyond that, anyhow, even if she was, it was my choice to go through it anyhow." And she writes, "You mean even if she would have been?" And he responds, "Yes." And then she asks, "Anything else?" Question mark. And he responds, "Yes. The main cause of human misery is the amnesia, the false thought prisons. Once we understand that life in this dimension is a constant attack on our mind, we can free ourselves from that prison. It takes a while, but it's possible for an increased amount of people. It is a window of opportunity for many souls to reconnect and leave, in quotes, the game. And that's evidently not physical death, but rather once in the astral or holographic planes, the soul can go back to its source." And she asks, "Any advice?" Question mark. And he responds, "Don't spend so much money and efforts investigating my death. Accept that I had to leave as I was getting this message out there and as I was lifting the veil a little on the experience of the soul." This is the message that needs to be heard, not which party planned and executed my death. That's details. And when I said to my mother, "Investigate," what I meant was know that it was murder, that I was killed so that the truth could be broadcasted and identified as such with more impact. If you could send this message anonymously to one of the people who are out there talking about me, it would be great. Most of them are missing the point and getting lost in details. That's not it. And also, I'm very much alive on the other side, as we are never dead, of course. And I can speak with anyone who opens their heart to me like you did, and who invites me in and is able to receive and transmit the same frequency I am at. One more thing, the human heart. A reminder that it is an anagram for Earth, in quotes. Nothing is out there. It's all in here, in the heart. The connection with the heart is opening up to beyond the big veil, big in capital letters, comma. The connection of the mind will lead into the holographic realms. The heart too at first, but it can lead the way with intent and purity and when love is understood. Love is the most awesome power. It's a vibration with an all-encompassing sound, a wave, and to harness that and cut through all the mind control and bullcrap is what the souls who want out of this game should focus their lives on. Not light and love as polarity to fear, but as all-encompassing, all-pervading, neutral. Thank you all who are seeing or hearing this for listening to me and for really hearing the message and not getting into the nitty-gritty of my quote-unquote death and clones, etc. That is not why I agreed to leave. Thank you from my heart to yours. Then she writes, the messenger. She says, Max is asking me if I want to add anything. Not at this time. I want to send this very clear message and not take away or add to it. Maybe just one thing. Listen/read to, in parentheses, this message with your heart, not your mind. And listen to it again and again when you feel worry or fear of some kind. Thank you, Rose. Much love from Max and me. 2 X's. And she says, I could say that this was received from a source who has been in touch with Max telepathically in the last few months and who has been able to build a truthful, heart-based connection and who wants to remain anonymous. So that is the message. That is the video of this message. And I hope that anybody who heard this message was able to connect with the parts of it that make sense and that feed your soul in a positive, loving way. And then I will make another video reading this message and making comments, perhaps. Big kiss, guys. Lots of love. Love from me. Love from Max. Love from the secret messenger. Love from the Earth Gaia. Beautiful Sophie. Everybody heals and everybody figures it out and everybody gets past positive, negative polarity and sees the greater neutrality, which doesn't have to be a big bore. It can still be exciting. So thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you soon. Big kiss.